high, is that low? I think that is quite okay for this market.
Especially being the first flight, people don't plan ahead sometimes too early. We will decide next week and so forth.
If I would be in Europe, this 10% would be a bit scary. But here, people say, they come.
There are unreported, unconfirmed reports that, you know, for instance, a company like Fly 540 would want to go to court because you're making the market uncompetitive. Is that a concern to you?
No, it's not a concern. I think they want to go to the competition authority. I don't know whether they will. Yeah, we have nothing to hide. And yeah, the thing is that being the first with this concept, yeah, some people find that uncomfortable. Again, if you look to Europe, Asia, and other parts of the world, it's there for a long time already, and yeah, it settles. You get a new balance in the market, and don't forget, and that is what I try to explain every time to people. We try to convince people who do not fly. I'm not there to take current passengers. I'm there to grow the pie.
Yeah. Let's look at the economics of it. Why is it that flights are expensive, and why is it going to be sustainable to run it on this low cost? What are the calculations? So that we can attack the others and tell them also bring down.
Bring down your... Now in some cases, and that, don't forget, you cannot compare, I will explain, but you cannot compare all the concepts as apples to apples.
Right.
What I mentioned earlier, Kenya Airways is a network carrier, and that's a different concept. If I try to explain how low cost, how that works, then mostly I say, I compare myself with main carriers. They have 4 to 5 to 6 aircraft types. That means that you have to train 6 different types of pilots. You have to train mechanics. You have to build a whole organization around that aircraft, fleet managers, you name it. So you have quite a complicated, big organization to run those different aircraft. We have only one aircraft type. So we keep it very simple.
Is it you're using of it in aircraft terms? So it's cheap to maintain low consumption fuel?
No. If you
or what
no.
is it that
let me first talk about the aircraft itself. So
yes.
One aircraft.
Yes.
Then what you do, you put as many seats in that aircraft as possible. So that drives your cost per seat down. If you have less seats in the aircraft, the cost per seat goes up. Then main carriers, they have, if you compare the aircraft with each other, the 737, they have 4 to 5 cabin attendants on board. We only have 3. If you look to the distribution, we distribute mainly through internet, and our systems are much cheaper. I think that the cost we have to distribute is 20% of the cost the others have. If you look to the organization, we keep the organization very small, lean and mean. That means that we outsource a lot of things to companies who are much better in doing those things than we do. And can do that much cheaper. So throughout the whole concept, we save cost everywhere, and that makes the difference.
Okay.
Of course, we pay the same fuel. We have handling, we have landing, those kind of costs. That is similar. Yes. But it's about all the other costs where you drive those costs down, making it possible to drive your fares down. That's how it works.
I'm just a bit concerned because in the public sector, you look at buses, and we've had even matatus that increase the number of seats just to get more customers in. And then you realize the quality of the service is literally brought down to its knees. You're talking of a flight to Mombasa, more seats, 142. Don't you see you will indeed compromise the quality of the service?
Yeah, if you want to fly business class or sit in those kind of seats, please buy somewhere else.
Yes, exactly.
Don't bother to fly with Jambojet. And don't forget, it's an hour flight. And this concept, and I always say you should not fly more than 3 hours. So take Nairobi, put a circle around it, 3 hours, that's more or less it. Because that's no problem to sit in these kind of seats for that period. We are in fact a flying bus, but we are a very nice flying bus.
Looking at the market, of course, we have FastJet from Tanzania who would want to also come into the market, and of course, now that you have sort of now come into this very virgin market, other companies would want to come in. What is your strategy in terms of maintaining your stand and a bold, conspicuous presence in the market?
If others come, it all depends, of course, and that's a bit of a technicality, how price elastic the market is. And price elasticity means that if you drive the price down, how much is the market growing? Water is not price elastic. If the water price goes up, people still need water. If the water price go down, they will not buy more water. So that's the difference. If another one comes, then it depends a bit on, because then more low fares will come into the market, and what will then happen in terms of demand from that market. If the demand doesn't go up, then it will become a battle.
Let's have a fair discussion about the competition. I mean, 540 is running these routes that you're going to do. There was Jetlink before it. It collapsed under heavy debt.
Yeah.
What makes you believe that you will survive that turnover business? That's what I'm looking at.
Now again, if you look to time and time again I said, look to Europe, look to the others, look to South Africa. So the Kenyan market is ready for this kind of product.
Okay.
You have a lot of people over the past decade. I think the middle class is growing quite rapidly. So the economy becomes stronger. More people can buy cars, TV sets, what have you. So the way they spend their money becomes different. You see it on the roads, by the way. When I was here 14 years ago, there were much less cars than you see now. So there is a much bigger group who can afford to fly. So yes, the market is ready.
The customer base is good. It's good enough. From your projections, I'm sure you've done research. I mean, of course, I'm excited myself that we're going to get. I think we should fly into every county. I mean, we should develop our airstrips. We make it like, Nigeria is ahead. People flying into, all the states. We have airlines. Kenya wants to move.
Yeah, but it depends also a bit on what kind of airports you have there.
Yes,
because people ask me, do you fly to Lamu? No, I don't fly to Lamu because
the airport cannot take the
runway is too short.
In fact, there's a question coming in. We'll go to the public shortly what they think. Okay, those are only 3 routes you have introduced. People would like to see, do you have plans for other routes as well?
No, what we do is, because you would like to settle and to stabilize and see that it all works well. If you grow too fast and it becomes messy and whatever, then it becomes difficult to manage. So what we said, let's first try this product, to introduce this product in Kenya on these 3 routes. And let's fly that for 8 to 12 months, and then we take it from there. So we have a plan to expand after this 8 to 12 months, and then we will most probably try to fly international.
I'm sure after this show you're going to get a lot of calls, people who want to book for next month. And
most welcome.
Let's see. In fact, I'm already asking for the number. Kirigo, I'm up to you there. What is the public thinking about our low-cost flight starting April 1st?
All right, Makali and Makazi, very, very excited people out there, but valid questions. And like you asked, when do they plan to branch out? Those are the questions most people are sending in. There's someone who says, hi, bravo, please include Lodwar, because the fare is 2,500 by bus, 13,040 shillings by the competition, and it's always full. Help us. Then there's someone else, Jambojet. Is a really great idea. I would like to travel to Mombasa to Nairobi. Now, they have 2 questions. What if I have an infant, a few months old? Is there a higher charge? 2, also, if I change the date of the return ticket, around how much, am I charged and around how much? Thank you for the show. Then, someone here, Mwakazi, let the CEO understand Turkana is missing another flight apart from its competition, which has not increased the number of flights to enable transport become easy. That's Ewoy Nicholas. Then there's someone, Faisal in Mombasa, who says, I don't believe the fare will go down. Instead, will go up when they see now they have more passengers. But my opinion, they should put a fixed fare, but it is a good thing. So those are some of the questions that are coming in. Many people are asking, when are you going to branch out into other towns in this country. And you know, there's that lady who's asking, what if I have an infant? Do I pay more? And you know, if I decide to change my flight details, am I charged? And if so, how much am I charged? So that's what we're getting from our audience, David and Johnson.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
No, the additional destinations we talked about, I think. If you, there is a clear difference between babies or infants and children. The simple thing is, if you occupy a seat, we treat you as a normal passenger, because you take a seat. If you are a baby up till, 2 years, and you sit on the lap, you don't occupy a seat. You get an extra belt for the baby, so you keep the baby on the lap. And then you pay a fee, not the fare itself, it's 10% of the fare as a fee for that baby. Another question was...
Yeah, the question was, is this more of a strategy to pull people closer and then later on inflate the prices?
Okay, no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. If we would do that, we would lose all those passengers we just gained.
Exactly.
So
I think once you fill up the passengers, introduce more planes, more flights.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So
For instance,
volumes.
a lot of people will think, you know what, it's about 2,850, that's close to 3,000. I get to the airport and I'm told, well, because of this and this, you've got to add more money here.
No, if you stick to what I said, buy a ticket, take your hand luggage, it's 2,850.
It's going to be constant, at least for 1 year, right? Let's say at least for 1 year.
No, listen. If possible,
yes,
I will even drive those prices even down
if the
rather than up.
Shoots, I mean,
If we are able to decrease our cost further,
yes,
because if you grow, your cost per unit will also go down.
Yeah.
So we will try to translate that in lower fares, because lower fares will attract more people. I'm interested in lots of people.
Right.
And if I drive the fares up after a year, so we are in the market and we drive the fares up, I will lose all those people.
Right.
So that's not the idea.
Asking, well, somebody saying, why not Nyeri, Isiolo, Nanyuki, Marsabit?
All these places.
Everybody wants the flight to their destinations. I want mine to Bungoma tomorrow. We're going to fix, we'll ask the governor there to fix the airport.
Let's start with these three and then we take it from there.
I mean, because somebody is reasoning out, if I take a bus to my place, the bus stop is close to where I'm going. If we're talking about going to an airport, I've got to perhaps also budget for a taxi to take me to this.
Yeah, no, that was a question we also saw in the social media, because people are very active on social media. We have a lot of likes already, so that's good.
Yes.
And the question was, how do I get? And they said, yeah, and then you pay 2,000 for a taxi. No. What we did is we talked to the Kenyan airport authorities. They're very cooperative. That's very nice, because they also see the potential of this airline and they really want to help out. So they licensed certain bus companies who will run buses based on our schedule. I don't know the final price yet, but I think it will be to travel from Mombasa airport to town will be around 200 bob. Each way. So that is very affordable, I would say.
The traditional thing is to fly Nairobi, all destinations ending in Nairobi and departing from Nairobi. How about Mombasa, Kisumu? Or Kisumu,
no, that is one of the things we have in our later plans, to see whether you could also start flying from Mombasa to other destinations, maybe also to Kisumu, because now people travel between Mombasa and Kisumu. And then they have to if they go by bus, they go to Nairobi, then they switch bus. It's
unless
quite
now
cumbersome.
you book connecting flights. I mean, not connecting, but 2 flights. Basically, Kisumu, Nairobi, then Nairobi,
that's possible.
Mombasa again.
Yeah, that's possible. And the only thing is that they need to be sure that there is enough time between the flights, because if they miss the flight, money gone.
Those are some things.
It's as simple as that. Because if you don't show up,
that's it.
That's it.
No compensation.
Similar, if you buy a ticket for the movie and you don't show up, you don't get your money back.
Right.
So if you bought your ticket, you can change your ticket, your reservation up front. You pay, because if you change, you pay a fee. And if you buy a seat on a flight where your fare is not available anymore, you pay the difference between the fare which is available at that flight.
At that point.
Because You can change.
But Willem, you're going to cause a stampede because that's why I asked how many seats on any flight are reserved for the low cost. Because everybody is listening to the low cost one. They're not listening to the higher fare. They're looking for the 2,800, not the 8,000.
Then they should go to make the reservation now. You will find many seats against 2,850. So go
Which
and
is
book.
important. Perhaps even at this point, you should just give us where should people find this information, because already there are inquiries. Give us the telephone number or website.
Yeah, I don't know the number by head,
email.
but we have a call center. We have the Kenya Airways offices in Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and Eldoret. So they can go to the Kenya
All the
Airways
Kenya
office.
Airways offices.
They can go there.
They're serving Jambojet, right?
Yeah, we have a little corner
For Jambojet.
with a little flag, Jambojet.
Right.
So we sell through the offices. Internet.
They go online. They can go check out jambojet.com.
You can do it here.
You can actually
You can make a booking here.
Right,
Okay.
right. Okay, so there you are. If you are looking for where to get Jambojet, begin booking from 1st April.
And I'm sure if you go to your travel agent, he will book also for you.
Right, right.
You know, just a general concern here. I mean, when you look at public service vehicles, let's say buses, people are concerned about road accidents. And especially when you look at what happened in Malaysia, you're telling people to fly. Well, of course, for first-timers, that would be a great deal of concern. How do you tell them?
Yeah, there are a lot of barriers we have to take away. People say it's not for me, it's for the rich people. Flying is dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. How do I get to the airport? How do I get from the airport? So they create their own hurdles. Flying is the most safe mode of transportation worldwide. Flying is much more safer than even walking on the street. So if you look to the number of people flying worldwide and you compare that with how many people are involved in an accident or an incident, it's very little. So if you talk about safety, then you better fly than that you walk or bike or drive a car or go with a bus. And that's a proven fact.
A very specific question somebody says, they don't seem to agree with you. They say, I have called Jambojet. The cheapest flight is 11,600 to Mombasa.
I don't know who they called, because we don't sell those fares yet. I don't know who they... Then I would like to know from this person,
this man is called Bob Kaugi in, I think in Mombasa, Nairobi. Then he also asked, how is it possible to do 5 flights to Mombasa daily? Is it feasible that you can do 5 flights?
Kenya Airways is flying 8 times a day, or 9 times a day, or 10 times a day. Yeah.
But because they have different jets.
Yeah, we also have 2 jets.
So you can
Because
with 2 jets and you're doing Kisumu, Mombasa, and you're doing Eldoret, how do you split that to achieve 5?
you have
5 flights to Mombasa. He's just looking at the practicality of it and the safety considerations that you'll be overstretching your capacity.
No. What you do, of course, you try to fly that aircraft as many times as possible up and down. Because if you have an aircraft on ground, it's costing you money, and you don't earn anything. I compare it to the buses who cannot drive at night currently. They have the bus, they've paid for it, they have drivers and what have you, and they cannot drive the bus, so they cannot earn money during the night with that bus. So that drives the prices up. So you need to fly as many flights per day with that aircraft as possible. What we do, what I told you, I have a 3rd aircraft available. We have 2 aircraft which will fly 4 flights a day, and we have 1 aircraft which will fly 1 flight a day, and that aircraft will then further be available to be used if anything is the matter with one of the other 2. 4 flights you can even do, if you, it depends on the distance, you can even do 6 flights with 1 aircraft. It depends a bit on the aircraft and how early you start, but you start at 6:45 and your last flight lands 10:45 in the evening, and you can fly many times up and down with that aircraft.
Okay. Well, more inquiries, particularly Lodwar. People are saying Lodwar only has 1 flight. It's far, and in between flights. You're not thinking it's, especially because of Lokichogyo and...
No, you have Garissa, Lodwar, you name them.
Yeah, a lot of UN agencies.
Of course, it's more comfortable to fly to those destinations than to go by road or differently. did not plan for those routes for the time being.
Right.
They are quite thin, and there are not that many passengers.
It's 140 is a lot of people, actually.
And to fill a full aircraft to those kind of destinations will be a bit tough. So we have to see how that develops, how the numbers develop on those routes. But
Right.
currently the numbers do not justify
those routes.
low-cost operations.
You know, going forward, generally to make this kind of, to make air transport cheaper, in terms of policy framework, government institutions, what do you think from where you sit ought to be done to make air travel more popular, more affordable, and encourage initiatives like Jambojet, your competitor, sorry I'm saying, to have more Jambojets.
More Jambojets around.
So that
more
we can
Jambojets
ease
around.
transport in the country.
No, I think what you see happening, why is low cost developing so fast in Europe and in the States? Because there are no borders. So you can, in the European Union, if you are a Dutch company, you can fly from Germany, or you can fly from England, or wherever you like. So you can start flying from anywhere. Here, that's not possible. There are all kind of barriers, even to fly from your own country to other countries. There are all kind of bilaterals and designated carriers or not. So you cannot simply say, tomorrow I want to fly to Zanzibar.
Yes.
Then we have to discuss with the Kenyan government, we have to discuss with the Tanzanian government, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you might be allowed to fly to Zanzibar. Now, so that makes it difficult for airlines to rapidly grow and try and so forth. Because some routes work well, some routes work less. So you want to try a route, then when it works you increase. When it doesn't work you try something else. But that is impossible. It is a long road to flying to those destinations. So, and of course people talk about it already for a long time in Africa. All the governments talk about it. But they don't bring down those barriers. In the East African community, we are now starting. We try to take away certain rules and regulations to make movement of people and goods more easily. So that's a step in the good direction. Right. But it should.
So this East African Federation thing ought to be sped up.
If they speed up that it would stimulate companies to fly more and to create this low-cost infrastructure.
Willem, I can tell you that you're going to have a lot of clients. Somebody says, this is a wonderful idea. I've already booked a return ticket from Mombasa to Nairobi for my family during Easter, you know, and so forth. And people want this Jambojet in all the places from Moyale. Somebody saying it's too far, give us some means, you know. Another one is asking how long will it take to fly to Nairobi. I think it's, you know, about 45 minutes, or an hour or something.
No, less than an hour.
Yeah, 45 minutes for regular people who fly there and so on. Well, I think the feedback generally is very encouraging, and you know, Makazi, I don't know whether Willem is going to give you a trial flight to Kisumu, but that we will talk off.
At a certain moment, if you want people to write and talk about it, you sometimes have to give them a ticket to try.
But thank you for coming to share this, and I think it's a great thing that is happening. We look forward to your success so that we can all
Me too.
You know, have faster transport in the country. I know governors are going to scramble to build airports in the areas, you know, because everybody really wants to. Why spend 6 hours to go to Kitale when you can fly, you know, there in 1 hour? You know, it's so it's revolutionary. We want to join the world transport systems, the superhighway. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Willem, for coming by to share about Jambojet. Continue watching Power Breakfast.